against the Pittsburgh Squealers, there aren't as many as we would hope. And, you know, this new dome is going to be fantastic. And some of you aren't on board with that. And some of you are anti the ownership, the Haslams, for various reasons. I don't know exactly your logic on that, other than you just don't like people that have a lot more money. Um, I wish I had all the money that the Haslams do, and I'm glad that they are putting it towards something that will be used where by the Browns, by that area, by Cleveland. The city of Cleveland, you know, has been stomping against this, thinking that it's going to hurt. And there might be some changes. Obviously, not having the Browns down there during the football season will be different. But the Browns, there are other teams down there. There are the Guardians, there are the Cavs, and there's a new WNBA team on the horizon coming in 2028. So we have all that to look forward to. I want to get into that a little bit here with the new WNBA team shortly. But as far as the Browns are concerned, it's this new dome. I know, like I said, I've already been saying here that it's not um, it's not something that's gonna hurt this organization. And I know this team. Part of it too is that this team has struggled since they came back in 1999, and that's part of that. And then we haven't had that much success, and therefore it's kind of created this divide amongst the fan base. I hope everybody can get on board by 2028, 2029. And who knows what will be happening by then. Will Kevin Stefanski still be coaching the team? I would doubt it, but you never know. This is what, year 6 now for Kevin and Andrew Barry, so we'll see how that goes. But a lot to look forward to. I live down here in the Columbus area. Many of you who are Browns fans live down here and south of Cleveland, and so this will give us a little bit less of a road trip up to Cleveland, save us a 15-20 minute drive, the parking, lots of things. So there are some real positives, and the number of activities, the number of things that will be able to come on board if they build it, when they build this arena now, from college basketball games to Final Fours to concerts. That hey, I would love to be. This the stadium has on the lake shore is something that everyone for generations has been used to, and I will miss it. You will miss it. Walking that East Ninth or East Third down to the stadium, hooting, hollering, uh, "Go Browns, go!" Here we go, Brownies! All that, but we can still do that at the new ballpark. I know some of you have been complaining about it won't be the same. It won't be the Muni lot. Well, I love the Muni lot, and there'll be something else that will happen. We don't know what that's going to look like exactly. I know some of you are already putting forth some suggestions, so we'll see. It will be different, but it's something so going to be so awesome to see in person and go. Do you remember in 1990, 1995, when the Jacobs Field opened? Do you remember, as a baseball fan, having gone to all those games at Old Municipal Stadium, how dreary that was? It was a huge ballpark, and they put 10,000 fans in there, and it looked like there were 5 fans in there. And do you remember your first experience going into Jacobs Field and what that felt like as a baseball fan or as a sports fan? My God, it was such a difference. And that vibe, that energy will build toward that 28 season, 29 season when the Brownies go in there. Who knows? And maybe be on the doorstep. Maybe they will already have won a Super Bowl. Who knows? But it's certainly going to propel and energize this fan base even more. And, you know, it's hard when you are a Browns fan and you are loyal to this team who has had its ups and downs, and mostly downs, and you are still there, sticking by, being a loyal fan. And so even if they are to struggle, and I know some of you are concerned about the cost. Sure, we don't know what the cost is going to be. I'm a season ticket holder as well. the cost, we will find those things out as time moves on. But you and I know we'll be there, and it's going to be something special. And even if this team sucks, and this team has sucked for many years, many generations, it'll still be a nicer, more comfortable place to be in the heart of uh, wintertime in December and January to go to a game or that arena during that time of the year. So, all right. Hey, thanks for following, I guess, again here on the Johnny Cleveland podcast, part of Fans First Sports and the Fanatical. We are the Fanatical Owls Network. Um, Appreciate you coming along. I know we are using this new product here on Riverside and having some technical things here and there that we're learning about, and we're getting better at it. But it's a little bit different of a product, and so thus I know I started my show without the music, but I'm going to try to add that later so all of you can listen to it. I'll find it here before we leave too today, but let's pause here for a commercial break. This is the Johnny Cleveland podcast. Hey, and thanks for coming back to the Johnny Cleveland podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network and Fans First. And we want to give a shout out to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters who support us. They shake the hand of the farmer. Great coffee. Go order some. It's on the link on the top of our X page for the Fanatical Elves. You can find us on Facebook as well, YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're everywhere. And please download us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. What is it, Cashbox or one of those? I know Rod Bloom, who does the Browns Blitz later tonight, 8:30. I think his show time is at. Check him out. He'll have a live show tonight here on our networks. I know he does his pod. I know some of the folks that follow him like to follow his show on one of those platforms. I think it's called Cashbox or something like that. So tune into that tonight. Tomorrow night, catch an episode of Going Nuclear with Ethan Greenberg of our podcasting network, and his show. I think it's going tomorrow. Was it 7:30, Ethan? So good luck to Ethan on that. Great job. We really appreciate everybody that participates with us in our colleagues of ours. If you haven't listened to Steve Gill's show over the weekend, he had some good information, new information about the Browns as they get prepped for their training camp. His Dog Pound South podcast aired Sunday. We've got more shows coming up later this week. The Fanatical Elves show itself will be coming on Thursday before the big fireworks show. So tune in to us a little bit early. I think about 7:30 Eastern. And then you can go out and watch all of your fireworks after that. Back in the day, I used to live in Kansas. Many of you know this, and in Kansas, the rules and the policies for shooting off fireworks was far different than it is here in the Buckeye State. And back there, you could go to the local. They'd have the fireworks tents on every block, and you could go buy as many fireworks as you want. And we would know people that would spend thousands of dollars every year on these fireworks. And then you go into your neighborhood, into your cul-de-sacs, and you'd sit there with your lawn chairs. And my God, the fireworks displays by the local neighbors was more spectacular than some of these shows that you might see on TV or locally here or wherever you live. So I just remember that as a young person growing up out there. It was just fantastic. I can't even explain the euphoria, the excitement there. So that was a cool time. I know fireworks can be dangerous, and I know they're outlawed. Many of the big ones here by local, you can't just go use them here in Ohio, but some of these other states, like Kansas, do allow that. And while it is dangerous, it is quite a thrill, and it was a lot of fun remembering those times. All right, so in the world of the Brownies news, there's not a lot going on outside of the new dome. Within the AFC North, we found out that Jalen Ramsey of the Miami Dolphins got traded yesterday to the Pittsburgh Squealers. Um, you know, Pittsburgh is all in. I was watching their programming on the Fans First Network with Jeff and Brian yesterday, and they were talking about going all in. They're trying to. They got Aaron Rodgers. They're going with these experienced older veterans, but they haven't signed T.J. Watt yet. Interesting, right? We'll see what happens. lots to we're going to see these guys twice a year. We know we hate Pittsburgh. We'll see how it all pans out. I don't see I'm not really overwhelmingly concerned with the moves that I saw yesterday. I'm not scared out of my boots that somehow Jalen Ramsey's going to be this force to be reckoned with. And by the way, the Squealers signed Juan Thornhill a while back too, who used to play for Cleveland. So it'll be very interesting to see how it all comes together. But I'm not overly worried about what happened yesterday. I'd be more worried if I was Pittsburgh that they haven't signed TJ Watt. So we'll see where that goes. That's about all that's kind of going on in the NFL right now. There's, we've got training camps coming up. I know some people have been talking about how there's going to be football in July, NFL football preseason. I think it's the Hall of Fame game. I think maybe the Chargers are playing the Detroit Lions July 31st. So, hey, we're going to football this month. Pretty crazy. The so our rookies here in Cleveland report, I think July 18th. The veterans come back on July 21st, July 22nd. So we'll see how that all pans out. Really excited about that. They have the tickets. I think you could go. I think tomorrow, if you're a season ticket holder, you've probably got an email from the Cleveland Browns that says you can go order your extra tickets for those training camp sessions. So I think you can order up to like 8. And so I would, if you hadn't known that, go look at that on the Cleveland Browns website. I've done this before. It's pretty cool. I may be actually going up there covering the group for another blog that I write for with Northeast Ohio Sports Insider. So I might get a chance to go cover the team personally myself. So I'll let you know all if I end up doing that. I'll be writing about it as well. So let's change gears a little bit. We'll talk about the NBA, WNBA. We're not going to talk about the Guardians because they're sucking wind right now, and they're not very good, and they're falling apart. And we'll come back to them later. Right now, it's July. Just to say about the Guardians, it was the worst month of June that they've had in 25 years, I think, as far as a singular month. I think they were sub 500 by quite a bit. 16. Well, I don't even like trying to think how many they had 10, 11 wins maybe in the month of June. It was really bad. And so they're not going the right direction, but we do have the wild card. So we'll come back to them. We'll talk about them another time, another day. We'll see how they get through this month of July. They have some really tough teams. They are playing the Houston Astros. They are playing the Detroit Tigers over the next couple of weeks. So we will know more. Okay, so NBA, the kid out of Oklahoma City signed today. The CJA, he signed a $285 million 4-year deal. And I'm just pulling up some information here on my phone. Let's see here. The yeah Shea Gillius Alexander signed the 4-year deal, 85 million, 285. It's just crazy. You think about big contracts. When I was younger, this is going way back, but in the 90s, and I've mentioned this on this podcast before, the Ken Griffey Jr. Do you remember when he signed that lucrative deal back then, and when he played for the Seattle Mariners, and everybody thought, oh my God, it was a huge contract, but it was like, I don't know, a couple 10, $20 million. But I remember doing math equations with my students. I used to be a teacher, and how we broke it down by how much money he would make per at bat, and or per day, per at bat. It was just crazy. And now you look at these contracts, 4 years, $285 million. Deshaun Watson a few years ago, $230 million. It's just nuts. You think about how much money these guys are making. According to this, he's going to be making 70 million per year. Just outrageously crazy. So he signed. That brought up the other thing that I was thinking of today. Some of you have been watching this on social media platforms. Do you know what this is? This is Bobby Bonilla Day. Bobby Bonilla. Some of you who are young don't have a clue who I'm talking about. Bobby Bonilla used to play for like the Pittsburgh Pirates, the New York Mets, and he made this crazy contract with the Mets that would pay him basically $1.1 million every year until the year 20, I think 30. And he got paid today. So we call this Bobby Bonilla Day. I got to meet Bobby Bonilla. I've told this story before when he used to play for the Pirates. Bobby Bonilla played Barry Bonds. They played a series against the Cincinnati Reds. I go down and watch the Reds play sometimes. Eric Davis, Barry Larkin, and we found the hotel where the Pittsburgh Pirates were staying. Bobby Bonilla was there after the game. He had hit a home run earlier in the game. I actually went up to him. He was in the hotel lobby. I got brave enough and I said, "Hey, Bobby, great game, great home run. Boy, you hit that ball far." And I always laugh about that because it's like it was a home run for God's sake. Just he hit a home run, so just leave it at that. But I don't know. I was a teenager and I was saying dumb things. I still say dumb things, but the point is that I got to meet him. He was a really nice guy. Always thought of him. He always had a good flair, a good sense of humor, even all through his career, even when he would be interviewed by other people. So I always appreciate that about him. So congratulations to Bobby Bonilla. It is Bobby Bonilla Day. The other thing, the NBA here with the Cavs, I kind of touched on this yesterday on our Coffee Jolt with Johnny Cleveland show. Isaac Okoro, we know, got traded to the Chicago Bulls for Lonzo Ball. Some of you out there, many of you out there, are more excited about this than I am. And I've mentioned yesterday on the show, and I'll mention again here. I'm not overly excited because Lonzo Ball has not played that much, and some of you automatically are saying that he's going to add so much more offense than Isaac Okoro did. And some of you will then say, "Oh, did you watch Isaac Okoro play in the playoffs?" Yeah, buddy, I did. I watched Isaac Okoro play in the playoffs. Well, did you see that he disappeared? Well, yeah, I did. Okay, fine. Lonzo Ball never has played in a playoff series. Plus, Lonzo Ball has played, what, 5 seasons. He missed 2.5 seasons because of a serious, almost career ending knee injury. News flash. So, some of you who are, and I know some of us have been saying, if he stays healthy, and I think more people need to pay attention to that because if you want to look back at stats, which I can look at right with you right now and share this out for those of you who aren't paying attention to actually NBA basketball, it's always fascinating to me how some of you will go out there and you just start throwing out crap when all or any of us will point out some facts that you don't like that don't fit your narrative. So I just want to simply, I'll share out the actual stats. Part of it is, well, let's start with Isaac Okoro. Isaac Okoro, yes, he might not have been the offensive juggernaut. He averaged 6 points last season. Just news flash, I know Lonzo Ball came back late in the season last year. He started in October, sat out, came back in February. He was still recovering from that serious, almost career-ending knee injury. Averaged 7 points a game. Okay, so you're like, oh well, that was just because he came back. He's an 11-point career average scorer. Isaac Okoro is almost 9 points a game. Okay, 9 points, 11 points. That's 2 point difference in their career. Not a substantial difference. Also, Lonzo Ball, his in his one season that he averaged 14 points. That was when he played for the New Orleans Pelicans. He averaged 14 points. That's not like 20 points. He averaged 14 points. All the other years in his career, he's averaged far less than that. So he's not that offensive juggernaut. Yes, he's a very good defender. So was Isaac Okoro. But some of you who are like, "Oh my God, he's such an upgrade from Isaac Okoro," hold the phone. Um, that's not the case. Just to go through this one more time, um, in the other part of this is the consistency, and we talk about him staying healthy. Isaac Okoro, in all of his years in Cleveland, he played 5 seasons in Cleveland. Here are his game, the number of games he played in per season. He started with the Cavs in 2019. So these are the number of games he's played in. He was in 67 games in 2019, 67 games in 2020, 76 games, almost the entire season in 21. In the 22 season, he played 69 games. And last year, he played in 55 games. If you want to compare that to Lonzo Ball, and this is why people are holding the phone on this guy, and this is the why I'm very cautious about him. And if he decides he wants to score 15, 20 points a game this year, fantastic. But he hasn't been very consistent. He's, like I said, missed 2.5 years of play time because of serious knee injuries. He played in 52 games his first year with the Lakers, 47 games with the Lakers in the second year. In his third season with the Pelicans, he's played in 63 games. In the second year with the Pelicans, he played in 55 games. And the last 2 years, he's played well in 21 in the 2020 season with the Bulls. He played in 35 games, and in this past year, he was again in 35 games. I want to see guys that are consistent. Obviously, the Cavs think that they've got something here, and that would be great. Lonzo Ball's dad comes on the air. I think he was on 850 yesterday. I didn't really hear the interview; just saw some of the snippets. Talking about he'll be the difference maker with the Cavs winning a championship. No, he's not. But I appreciate the dad's loyalty um, to his son. I get it, but the Cavs need a little bit more from Darius Garland, a little bit more from Donovan Mitchell, a little bit more from the bench, a little bit more from Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley if they're going to win a championship. It's not going to just be Lonzo Ball, but obviously, if Lonzo Ball can play a more consistent season, let's say be in more than 55 games in a season, that would be one step in the right direction. So we'll see how that goes. But the other part of this is, I don't know if I saved this part. Let me see here. Yeah, I was looking at the other person that we've been talking about here in Cleveland with the Cavs is this Ty Jerome. And my soapbox, and I won't try not to spend a lot of time on this because I know most of you will disagree with me and think that it's hogwash of what I'm going to tell you about Ty Jerome. But I've not been a fan of Ty Jerome's. He he came to Cleveland. He did some good things in Cleveland. I'm not going to say that he didn't help this team. And some of you will say, "Well, he won several games for the team." Well, any sport, it's a team game, folks. And I know there are five guys on the floor, and you don't win games in the NBA without the other four guys on the floor along with you. Ty Jerome got his 15 minutes of fame this year. Did a lot of really good things. Played in 70 games for the Cavs. So I don't want to like downgrade and downplay what he did for Cleveland. Yes, there were a few moments in this 15 minutes of fame that were outrageously good, but then he had a lot of outrageously bad moments. Obviously, what many of you will probably remember is the playoff run. But there were a lot of games prior to the playoff run that would watch, and you could see if you really follow basketball. And I know some of you want to say that you do, but here's a news flash: I do too, and I've coached over many years, and I can see these things, and I've had lots of conversations with coaches behind the scenes when we talk about these different players, including the Cavs players, of what we're seeing. Ty Jerome was a very good player. He will continue to be a good player for his next team. I'll talk about that here in a second with the Memphis Grizzlies, but there was a lot of showboating. And while he was trying to include his team and he was tried to distribute the ball, there were too many moments that he tried to do too many things and tried to be the hero. It got to his head. You could see it as the season progressed. I wasn't worried about him when the season started, and it was nice to see him score here and do this and that. He was really, good. But the first sign that I had that Ty Jerome was not the guy that was going to be with this team very long was when I started seeing, and I know some of you will disagree with this wholeheartedly because you think that the NBA refs are just hogwash and pieces of crap. When he started calling out, especially the female referees during a couple games that the Cavs lost. There was one time in the locker room where he called them out by name, said that they were crap and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, you got an issue, and that's on him. And if you want to support him in that, fine with me. But I'm going to disagree 1,000 times over with Ty Jerome and his attitude. He has an attitude. I know a lot of you like the fact that he was playing with DeAndre Hunter, his teammate that he used to play for in Virginia. So be it. But there's a reason why Ty Jerome has moved around substantially in his brief NBA career. he started with the Phoenix Suns. He then went to the Oklahoma Thunder. He then went to the Golden State Warriors, and now he spent the last 2 seasons in Cleveland. Now he's on his way to Memphis. In his career, he hadn't really gotten that opportunity. He got 31 games in 2019, 33 games in OKC. The first year he was there, 48 games. The next year, when he went to the Golden State Warriors, he got 45 games. And then he got to Cleveland. You hardly heard of him that first year. And then he had 70 um, games this past year where he averaged 19 minutes, 12 points. That's a career high for him. Before that, in OKC, when he had 33 games, he averaged 10 points. But he's typically anywhere between 3 points, 7 points, 6 points. He averaged 2 points and didn't get any time when he was in Cleveland that first year. So I'm getting at here is he's a lifetime 8 points a game player. He averaged 12 this year. He played in 70 games. He did a lot of good things, but he wasn't going to be the difference maker in this team winning a title. And now he's going on to Memphis. And some of you are upset because I've mentioned that he's going on to a team that plays dirty. They talk dirty. They are full of themselves and think that they're all that. So I think it's a good fit for Ty Jerome that he can go to a team that's a little bit more charismatic. Maybe they're not as outrageous as some, or they are outrageous more than a team like the Cavaliers. So good luck, Ty. Hopefully you have a great season in Memphis. I, maybe he's gotten into another level and he'll continue to be that 12 points a game player and help Memphis, but he wasn't going to do much more here in Cleveland. So good riddance to Ty Jerome. And that's all I got today, folks. I hope all of you have a very good rest of your July 1st, Tuesday. We got a few days before the 4th of July. I appreciate you all tuning in here to my show, to the Fanatical Elves show, to Fans First. Make sure that you go over to Apple, go over to Spotify, and download us, follow us, so you'll never miss a show. I appreciate your time. Goodbye. Good day. Go Browns. And remember, too, that's right, keep smiling.